A single fragment can rewrite centuries of belief, and the latest finds prove the ancient world still has secrets to spill. Stay tuned, because number 1 will surprise even the most seasoned scholars. Imagine a cache of ancient manuscripts hidden in a remote cave for nearly 2 millennia, only to emerge in the mid-20th century and rewrite what scholars knew about early Judaism. The Dead Sea Scrolls, discovered between 1947 and 1956 near Qumran, include copies of nearly every book of the Hebrew Bible, plus sectarian writings never before seen. Their language and textual variations show that biblical texts were fluid before the canon solidified, confirming that the transmission process was far more dynamic than previously thought. Radiocarbon dating places the oldest fragments around 250 BCE, while paleographic analysis links them to a Jewish sect called the Essenes. The scrolls also contain the earliest known reference to a teacher of righteousness, shedding light on the community's leadership structure. Overall, these documents provide a direct window into the religious landscape of Second Temple Judaism, bridging gaps between the biblical record and historical reality.
Discovered in northern Israel during a 1993 excavation, the Tel Dan Stele offers the first extra-biblical mention of the House of David. Carved from basalt, the fragmentary inscription records a victory claimed by an Aramean king over the king of Israel and the king of the House of David. Scholars date the stele to the 9th century BCE, aligning it with the reign of King Hazael of Aram Damascus. Its wording, "by the hand of David," provides tangible evidence that a dynastic line bearing David's name was recognized by neighboring states. While some debate the precise reading of the weathered characters, the consensus affirms that the text corroborates the biblical portrayal of a Davidic monarchy existing in the early Iron Age. This finding bolsters the historicity of the Davidic narrative and illustrates how political propaganda was etched in stone to legitimize rule.
In 2001, a limestone slab unearthed in the archaeological park of Caesarea Maritima revealed the name of Pontius Pilate, the Roman prefect who presided over the trial of Jesus. The inscription, a dedication to the Roman emperor, bears the title Pontius Pilatus, prefect of Judea, and is dated to the early 1st century CE. Prior to this discovery, Pilate's existence was known only from the New Testament and a handful of historical references, such as the writings of Josephus and Tacitus. The stone provides the first contemporary, non-biblical attestation of his official title and role within the Roman provincial system. Its authenticity is widely accepted by epigraphists, and it confirms that the administrative structures described in the Gospels were indeed operational in Judea at that time.
Few people realize that an ornate limestone box discovered in a Jerusalem tomb in 2007 may belong to the high priest Caiaphas, a pivotal figure in the New Testament narrative. The ossuary bears the inscription Jehoiada, son of Caiaphas, matching the name of the high priest who presided over the Sanhedrin during Jesus' trial. The artifact dates to the early 2nd century CE, a period when ossuary burials were common among affluent Jewish families. While some scholars caution that the inscription could refer to a different individual sharing the same name, the combination of the name, the tomb's location near the Temple Mount, and the burial style strongly suggest a link to the biblical Caiaphas. If authentic, the ossuary provides a rare material connection to a person directly involved in the events described in the Gospels.
Hidden within a narrow water channel carved into Jerusalem's limestone, the Siloam tunnel inscription offers a vivid glimpse of King Hezekiah's engineering feats. The Hebrew text, etched on the tunnel walls, describes the moment when 2 work crews, digging from opposite ends, met in the middle, a detail that mirrors the biblical account in 2 Kings 20 verse 20. Radiocarbon dating places the tunnel's construction in the late 8th century BCE, aligning with Hezekiah's reign and the Assyrian threat that prompted the city's water security measures. The inscription not only confirms the biblical narrative but also demonstrates the sophisticated hydraulic engineering employed to secure Jerusalem's water supply. This convergence of textual and archaeological evidence underscores the historic reliability of the passage describing the tunnel's creation.
When the 1896 discovery of a granite slab in Thebes revealed the Merneptah Stele, scholars gained the earliest known non-biblical reference to Israel. The Egyptian pharaoh Merneptah boasted of his victories, and one line declares, "Israel is laid waste, its seed is no more." The stele dates to around 1200 BCE, placing the mention of Israel in the Late Bronze Age, roughly 4 centuries before the first biblical texts were compiled. While the phrasing suggests a military defeat rather than a political entity, the inscription confirms that a group identifiable as Israel existed in Canaan at that time. This external corroboration supports the historic core of the Exodus and settlement narratives, providing a valuable anchor point for biblical chronology.
Surprisingly, a series of clay tablets known as the Babylonian Chronicles, unearthed in the late 19th century, offers a precise account of the Babylonian siege of Jerusalem in 586 BCE. The Chronicles, written in Akkadian, detail the capture of the city, the deportation of its elite, and the destruction of its temple, events that align closely with the biblical account in 2 Kings 25 and Jeremiah. The tablets provide exact regnal years for King Nebuchadnezzar II, allowing historians to synchronize Mesopotamian and Judean timelines with remarkable accuracy. While some nuances differ, such as the emphasis on tribute rather than outright annihilation, the overall correspondence reinforces the reliability of the biblical record regarding the fall of Jerusalem and the exile of its people.
Archaeologists uncovered a baffling artifact in 1952, a rolled sheet of copper inscribed with a list of hidden caches, now known as the Copper Scroll. Unlike the other Dead Sea Scrolls, which are parchment, this unique document details 30 locations where gold, silver, and bronze vessels were allegedly concealed, possibly by a Jewish sect fleeing the Roman siege of Jerusalem. The scroll's cryptic measurements and place names have thwarted definitive identification of any treasure, leading some researchers to suggest the items were looted or never existed. Nevertheless, the Copper Scroll provides a rare glimpse into the material wealth and secretive practices of a community navigating political upheaval, expanding our understanding of the socio-economic context behind the biblical narratives.
Recent analysis of a marble slab discovered near Nazareth reveals a Roman edict prohibiting the disturbance of tombs, commonly referred to as the Nazareth Inscription. Dated to the early 2nd century CE, the inscription orders severe penalties for anyone who would move or open a burial place, reflecting concerns about grave robbery or early Christian claims of a risen Messiah. While the exact origin of the decree remains debated, some scholars argue it responds to rumors of Jesus' resurrection. Its existence confirms that Roman authorities were actively regulating burial practices in Judea. This context helps explain the cultural and legal environment surrounding early Christian narratives about tombs and resurrection.
Finally, a collection of letters unearthed in the early 2020s sheds light on the Bar Kokhba revolt, the last major Jewish uprising against Rome in the 2nd century CE. The papyri, written in Hebrew and Aramaic, include military orders, tax records, and personal correspondence from the rebel leadership. They reveal a sophisticated administrative network, contradicting earlier assumptions that the revolt was solely a guerrilla movement. The letters also mention negotiations with neighboring communities and internal disputes over leadership, painting a nuanced picture of the rebellion's organization. While some details remain contested, the documents provide concrete evidence of the social and logistical complexities behind the revolt, enriching our grasp of the period that followed the biblical era.
These 10 breakthroughs show how each shard of pottery, each weathered stone, can shift our understanding of the biblical narrative, turning mystery into evidence. If you enjoyed this journey through history and want more discoveries that illuminate ancient texts, subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. New mind-blowing lists arrive each week. Which breakthrough altered your view of Scripture the most? Share your thoughts below, and if this video sparked your curiosity, give it a like. Each find reminds us that history is a living conversation, and the next excavation may be just around the corner, waiting to rewrite what we thought we knew.